Welcome back to the Dinar Chronicle, your trusted source for the latest updates, deep dives, and real-time analyses on global currency revaluations, economic trends, and everything you need to stay informed on the financial resets happening around the world. If you're passionate about currency investment, eager to understand the current monetary shifts, and looking for accurate updates, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a single update in this fast-moving space. Now, let's get right into today's explosive topic, the potential revaluation of the Vietnamese Dong, VND, which is stirring up speculation and hope across the global financial community. Over the past few weeks, there has been a wave of whispers, insider comments, and banking indicators pointing to something significant potentially happening around the 25th of May. While such developments often come surrounded with mystery and misinformation, today we'll break down exactly what we know, what's being claimed, and whether this could indeed be the moment investors in the VND have long been waiting for. First, it's important to understand what a currency revaluation really is and why so many people are watching the Vietnamese Dong. A currency revaluation refers to an official upward change in a country's currency value relative to other currencies, typically orchestrated by the central bank or monetary authorities. In the case of Vietnam, there has been speculation for years that the VND is significantly undervalued compared to its economic performance, manufacturing output, and regional trade influence. Many currency watchers and economic analysts argue that Vietnam's currency does not accurately reflect its role as a rising Asian economic power. Recently, several key indicators have brought renewed attention to the VND. One of the main signals is the increasing pressure on the State Bank of Vietnam to modernize its monetary policy and align the VND with regional trade partners. Vietnam's economy has been booming even amid global slowdowns, with strong exports, foreign direct investment, and resilient domestic consumption. Despite this, the VND has remained relatively weak compared to other Asian currencies like the Chinese yuan, Japanese yen, and South Korean won. This disparity has led to increased international pressure and internal debate about adjusting the currency to reflect economic reality. What's particularly fueling the current speculation is a string of financial reports and diplomatic meetings that appear to be timed unusually close to one another. Just last week, senior financial leaders in Vietnam reportedly met with representatives from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. These meetings, while described as routine by official sources, have triggered speculation in the currency world that the conversations might have included strategic planning for a possible currency adjustment. In addition, several unconfirmed insider sources, allegedly connected to banking institutions in Southeast Asia, have hinted at an upcoming revaluation announcement scheduled tentatively around the 25th of May. Naturally, many in the revaluation community are cautious. After years of speculation about various global currencies, especially the Iraqi dinar, Zimbabwean dollar, and Vietnamese dong, it's become clear that not every rumor pans out. Still, some are pointing to corroborating signs in the financial markets that suggest a shift may indeed be on the horizon. For instance, some analysts are noting unusual trading patterns in VND futures markets, as well as tight capital flow. Monitoring by Vietnam's central bank over the last few weeks, others have noted that regional banks have started adjusting their VND Forex rates in very slight but notable ways, potentially preparing for a larger shift. Beyond these market signals, the political environment in Vietnam is also worth considering. The Vietnamese government has been focusing heavily on economic reform, digital transformation, and currency digitization. This includes experimenting with blockchain-based systems for domestic payments and increasing transparency in the banking sector. Many see these efforts as laying the groundwork for a more globally integrated and stable monetary policy, an essential prerequisite if a currency revaluation is to be successful and sustainable. A sudden and uncalibrated move would cause market volatility, but the government seems to be taking calculated steps in preparation. Interestingly, there has also been a rise in online chatter among financial influencers, TikTok creators, and YouTube analysts who are all hinting at the same May 25th date. While it's crucial to approach such claims with a healthy dose of skepticism, it's also true that sometimes this kind of widespread speculation is based on real whispers from people connected to government bodies or banking institutions. A number of VND holders have reportedly received alerts from private banking institutions telling them to be on the lookout for major Forex changes near the end of May. Again, none of this is confirmed officially, but the patterns are too consistent to be dismissed entirely. From a historical standpoint, the Vietnamese Dong has experienced minor revaluations in the past, but none of them match the scale that current speculators are anticipating. A massive revaluation would require significant coordination with international financial institutions and trading partners. If the VND were to be revalued by even a fraction of what some are suggesting, such as a shift from approximately 20,500 VND to 1 USD to something closer to 10,000 VND to 1 USD, it would have massive implications for investors. Import-export dynamics and Vietnam's monetary sovereignty. So what would a revaluation mean for the average investor? In the most optimistic scenarios, those holding large amounts of VND could see significant returns. That's why the currency RV community has been so engaged with this potential event. However, it's also important to remember that such investments come with risk. Just as quickly as excitement can build, it can also dissipate if timelines shift or expectations are not met. Many long-term investors in currencies like the Iraqi dinar have experienced years of anticipation without tangible results. It's essential to remain grounded and focused on facts rather than getting caught up in hype. Yet, there are real economic reasons to believe that the VND is due for an adjustment. Consider Vietnam's robust trade relationships. The country has free trade agreements with numerous partners, including the EU, Japan, South Korea, and members of ASEAN. A more accurately valued currency would not only boost investor confidence, but also improve Vietnam's negotiating power in future economic agreements. It could also attract higher levels of foreign capital and encourage domestic development projects that are currently constrained by currency misalignment. Let's also consider the global economic context. As countries recover from the economic turbulence of the past few years, many are adjusting their currency policies to better reflect post-pandemic realities. With inflation stabilizing in several major economies and global interest rate adjustments underway, this could be a strategic moment for Vietnam to recalibrate its currency. A controlled revaluation could also reduce reliance on the US dollar for trade, a shift that many Asian economies are beginning to explore in the wake of geopolitical uncertainties. Another interesting angle is how the Vietnamese Dong is being discussed in various financial forums related to asset-backed currencies and the concept of a global currency reset. Some theorists argue that the world is moving toward a new era of asset-backed, digitally enabled currencies, and that countries like Vietnam, rich in natural resources and strategically positioned in Asia, may play a key role in this transition. This speculation often includes the idea that the VND could be backed in part by Vietnam's mineral reserves or by broader regional economic alliances. While these theories remain speculative, they are gaining traction, particularly in the context of the May 25th date. As we draw closer to that date, the big question remains, will the revaluation happen? The truth is, no one outside of a very small circle of decision-makers can say for sure. However, what's clear is that something is happening. The signals, from policy shifts to market activity to insider chatter, all suggest that the VND is on the radar in a big way. Whether that culminates in a full revaluation on May 25th or simply marks the beginning of a phased adjustment remains to be seen. So what should you do if you hold Vietnamese Dong or are thinking about buying some? First, consult a qualified financial advisor. Currency investing can be highly speculative and should never be your only financial strategy. Second, stay connected to real-time news and updates from verified sources. And third, remain patient. If a revaluation is indeed in the works, it will be part of a broader strategic rollout, not something decided overnight or based on rumors alone. That said, May 25th is a date to mark on your calendar. Whether it results in a significant monetary shift or simply serves as another checkpoint on Vietnam's path to financial modernization, we'll be watching closely and reporting every development right here on the Dinar Chronicle. This has been your host at the Dinar Chronicle, bringing you one of the most talked about stories in the global currency world today. Stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay grounded. See you in the next update.